to talk about how to solve two variable systems by elimination. So to do that, you need to add the equations to eliminate one variable. So we look at example 1. We have negative x minus 2y equals 8. And then positive x equals minus 4y equals negative 2. These two x's will eliminate each other because I have a negative x and a positive x. So if I add these two equations, my x's cancel. I have negative 6y equals a positive 6. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 6 so that I can solve for y. Y is going to equal to negative 1. So that's one of my solutions, my solution for y. So now I have solved for y. I can substitute that back into either one of these two equations to solve for x. So say if I take the second equation, because that's a positive x. X minus 4 times my y, which is negative 1, equals negative 2. I just use this equation. I'm rewriting it, but I'm substituting in my y because I know what that is. X minus 4 times negative 1 is going to be a positive 4. And then I'm going to move my 4 over here, subtract 4 from both sides. Those cancel and I have x equals a negative 6. So my solution set will be negative 6, negative 1, because that's my x and then my y. Example 2, if I look at them, neither one of my variables have the same number. That's what I'm looking for. I want a variable that has the same coefficient, and I'm also going to want opposite signs. The x's have opposite signs, but I can't multiply 2 by anything to get to 9. So that's what I'm trying to do. But I could multiply 2 by 3 to get to 6. But I also want to change the sign. I want one of them to be positive and one of them to be negative so that they cancel or eliminate. So I'm going to multiply this first equation by negative 3. When I do that, negative 3 times a negative 2x is a positive 6x. Negative 3 times a negative 2y is a positive 6y. And then negative 22 times a negative 3 is going to be a positive 66. I'm going to copy over the second equation as it is, and then I can add my two equations. 6x plus 9x is 15x. My y's cancel, they're eliminated, and then 66 minus 21 is going to be 45. I want to solve for x, so I'm going to divide both sides by 15, and my x will equal to 3. Now I need to find out what y is. I can use either one of these first two equations. So say if I did the second equation. I'm going to rewrite my second equation. 9 times my x, which is 3, minus 6y, I need to solve for y, equals to negative 21. 9 times 3 is 27, minus 6y equals negative 21. I need to move my 27 over, so I'm going to subtract it from both sides. And I have negative 6y equals a negative 48. Divide both sides by negative 6, and y will equal to a positive 8. So my solution will be 3, 8. Remember, that's my x, y. The third example, I'm going to look at my coefficients. I have a 10 and an 8, and a 10 and a 3. They're not the same, but I also cannot multiply my 8 to get to a 10 or my 3 to get to 10 either. So what I have to do is multiply both of the equations by a variable, different ones, so that I get the same coefficient. So say, for example, if I want to make this 30, I'm going to multiply this by a positive 10, a positive 3. I'm going to multiply this by 10, but I need the signs to be different, so I'm going to multiply that by a negative 10. So 3 times a negative 10x is a negative 30x. 3 times positive 10y is a positive 30y. And 3 times 20 is 60. Don't forget to multiply this last number. Sometimes people forget that one. Now I'm going to multiply my second equation by negative 10. Negative 10 times a negative 8 is a positive 80x. Negative 10 times a positive 3 is a negative 30y. And then negative 10 times 36 is a negative 360. See, now I have my coefficients on my y are opposite. Let me move this up. The opposite signs, and they're the same coefficient. So let's add these two equations together. Negative 30 and a positive 80 is a positive 50x. My y's cancel. And then 60 minus 360 is going to give me a negative 300. Sorry, I wrote negative twice. I divide both sides by 50, and x will equal to a negative 5 into 300 is 6. 30 is 6, so negative 6. I still need to solve for y. So I can go back into either one of these two. I would use the original equations. So say if I use the first one, I'm going to have negative 10 times my x, which is negative 6, plus 10y. I need to find out what y is, equals 20. This is a positive 60 plus 10y equals 20. Subtract 60 from both sides, and I have 10y equals to negative 40. Divide both sides by 10, and y will equal to a negative 4. So my solution set will be a negative 6, negative 4. We have examples on the back that I want you to try. There are 8 examples. First 2 are easy, then you have the medium ones, and then 2 hard ones, which are more like this last one. Good luck, and once you learn how to do the equation 2 variable, you can move on to the equation 3 variable. Thank you.